coming to you live from the bedroom instead of the playroom. What's up, everybody? It is your boy ClayJ2K on Twitter. Make sure you follow the pod on Twitter as well. WDN4L _ pod. And we're coming at you with episode 3. Episode 3. That's crazy, man. We're doing the thing, ain't we? So on today's episode, we're going to do another mock draft Monday, which is funny because I'm recording this on a Sunday, but I know how this works, and this is not going to be uploaded until Monday. So technically, it's going to be a mock draft Monday. This is probably going to end up being like a normal routine, but I'm going to sit here and defend Spencer Rattler again, and we'll get to it. We're going to talk about the Saints have hired their coordinators, which means, well, they have the offensive position coaches hired at this moment. They're looking to fill the defensive positions, which is definitely a little bit more intriguing than on the offensive side because it's kind of gonna. We'll get into it. This is the intro. Yeah, and then I have a couple more things we're going to talk about. If I sit here and give away everything, you'll just not listen to the rest of the video, and I respect that because I also have ADHD and a short attention span. So let's talk about these mock drafts. Let's go ahead and start with that because that is, I guess technically we should start with the coaches. So offensive coordinator has been hired. It is Doug Nussmeier. He is the dad of current LSU quarterback Garrett Nussmeier, but more importantly, he is actually a former Saints quarterback. And according to the Saints Happy Hour podcast that Juge was saying, just be happy. Actually, I think he said it on Twitter. Anyway, be happy that he is not the quarterback. I was born in '96. I never watched Nussmeier as a Saints quarterback. I don't know, but Sean Payton was a terrible fucking quarterback, and he was a great coach. So maybe Nussmeier would be a great OC. And then defensive coordinator Brandon Staley, former head coach of the Chargers. I'm going to get more into that later because that is something I want to talk about as far as I guess the reception that he's getting. So let's go ahead and get into these mock drafts, though. So this first mock draft, I'm probably only going to do 2 this time because I didn't really have a short one. So this first mock draft. Now I want to keep in mind, like when I first did this mock draft, this specific one, Staley had not been hired yet, and while this pick will still work in the first round. I want to be clear that Brandon Staley is going to be bringing a 3-4 defense instead of a 4-3. So there's probably better places to go than this player. Maybe. We don't know who's going to be there at 9, but I just wanted to clarify that. Anyway, and for this mock in the first round, I picked 9. I took Michael Williams. Maybe it's Michael. I don't know. It's spelled Michael. That's what I'm going to call him. Anyway, defensive end out of Georgia, big guy. With this 3-4, I am curious as to whether, if this is the pick, I am curious as to whether he would be that defensive end that's going to be a run, sort of more of like a run stopper, or if he could be the stand-up pass rusher. But the thing is, that is still a linebacker technically, so there's going to be times where they're going to have to be in pass coverage. Not much. Don't get me wrong, not much. But that's still a thing. In the second round at pick 40, I took Trey Amos out of Ole Miss. Yes, sir. This kid is going to be a lockdown corner. I think you get him in, and whether he is your cornerback 1 over Kool-Aid, or if Kool-Aid takes that spot, either way, it doesn't matter. I think you get this guy, which solidifies your outside corners. And then Alontae Taylor can stay in the slot. Whether Dennis Allen ruined him because, look, let's be honest, his rookie year, Alontae Taylor actually had a very good rookie year. Y'all know this. He had a very good rookie year. at the outside corner. I mean, he was locking down players like DeAndre Hopkins. In the third round, I got Deion Walker out of Kentucky. 6'7", 6'7". And we're not talking about the Lil Wayne song, who is the GOAT, by the way. We're not talking about no 6 foot, 7 foot. This 6'7", well in the 300 pounds. You put him at that nose tackle. Now, this is a pick that works no matter what. Whether I did this before or not, this pick works perfectly for this because you need a nose tackle. You put him in nose tackle. He is a guy that demands a double team. Even at the NFL level, he's going to demand a double team. Getting that in the third round, that is a great value, in my opinion. At pick 100, now I made a trade. I'm going to stop using this site because they don't tell you, when you're done, they don't tell you the trade that you made. Stupid. So just know that I made a trade, and I'm at pick 100, and I took tight end Elijah Arroyo out of Miami. I've taken him before, so I'm gonna try and start doing some different picks moving forward. But it's just so hard with some of these because you need it. You can take a tight end. You need it. You know what I mean? You need a big body catcher. It doesn't matter if it's a tight end or a fucking receiver. It doesn't matter, but you need one. He is a great option for that, and so that's why he tends to be in my mock drafts. So at pick 111, I got Smail Mondon Jr. Look, 3-4 defense, that means 2 middle linebackers. They're going to be in coverage a lot. So someone like him, that's great. I mean, and you got to think about Demario Davis is only getting older. I understand he is like Iron Man and somehow finds a way to just still be great. But you're lying to yourself if you think that you didn't see any sort of decline at all, because he did at times. Now, don't get me wrong, he was not set up for success by any means. But you can see that he is half a step slower than he used to be. I love you, Demario. Still the best linebacker we have. Still the second best free agent signing we've ever had in the history of the Saints. And I love you. You're half a step slower now. So you got to think about after him. Pete Werner is already a great coverage linebacker. You add this, you got 2 great coverage linebackers. At 126, I took, this is, again, because of the trade. Don't know what I did. Maybe I should be better about remembering that stuff, but I have ADHD and I choose not to take my medicine. So, at 126, I took Ollie Gordon the second. And I'm emphasizing that because this next pick, I took Howard Cross the third. So, yeah. Ollie Gordon the second. Why am I focused on the second? Ollie Gordon out of Oklahoma State. I love that pick, especially at that spot. That's great value. He instantly, he's probably better. I don't know. I like Kendre Miller. I just wish he would stay healthy. But is he already better than Kendre Miller? It's possible. It's absolutely possible. Kendre has the youth on his side right now. He's still young, but he needs to stop getting hurt. It actually pisses me off. Like pisses me off. Anyway, like I said, Howard Cross the third at pick 130, nose tackle. I know I already took Deion Walker. I know, and they have Christian Boyd. You're not going to sit here and complain about the fact that we're getting depth on the D line. So maybe switching to the 3-4. Like I said, I did this before, but maybe switching to that 3-4. Maybe you don't need all that depth at nose tackle. But personally, I don't see an issue with it. At 250, I took Zachary Franklin, wide receiver out of Illinois. I like him. And then at 254, I took wide receiver Arian Smith out of Georgia. Now this pick, and I know this isn't breaking news because it's the last pick in the 7th, well, our last pick in the 7th round. I am not a big fan of this dude. A lot of people are because he's fast, and I get that. And he played for Georgia, and I get that. He has no hands. I have witnessed it. I am an Ole Miss fan. I watched them play. He cannot catch. He can separate, but he cannot catch. Now, is that something you can teach? That is interesting because I actually, me myself, I played receiver in high school, believe it or not. And I'm kind of in the understanding that yes, it can somewhat be taught to you how to catch in a technical standpoint. But you either have hands or you don't. It's that simple. And I personally don't think this guy has hands. However, he is big. He can block. That's kind of my thinking with it. Maybe you can send him a deep shot every now and then because he is fast. All right. So that was that. We're going to go to... Oh, you know what? I am doing 3 mocks. Silly me. So, with this one, I wanted to point this one out because this would never in a million years happen, no matter what. But this is the site that I am using moving forward. It is a lot better than the other one. However, the first draft that I did, Abdul Carter fell to me at 9. Yeah, I'm banging that fucking buzzer, whatever, running that draft card up. Like, are you serious, bro? I would disconnect the motherfucking phone line because you know you're gonna get trade offers. That's what I did. Reject. Shut up. I don't care. Abdul Carter, type of player that doesn't matter what scheme it is. He is great, and he's going to be great. Probably better than Micah Parsons, if we're being honest. Which is... Yeah. Anyway, so made that pick. Then I got Trey Amos again. I know that I said I'm going to try and do different picks. I like Trey Amos a lot. I am an Ole Miss fan. I am biased. There's going to be an Ole Miss player in most of my drafts. They had a great roster. Trey Amos, again, like I said, put him on the outside. Him and Kool-Aid, let Alante be in the slot. Moving on. I picked 71, Harold Fannin Jr. I want him so bad. I personally think that he is the best tight end in this class. And I understand that that's a hot take because Tyler Warren is in this draft. And maybe I'm slow. Maybe I haven't watched enough Tyler Warren tape. I understand he's a freak of nature athlete. I just think at some point these tight ends that are getting taken in the first round are going to have to come back to reality. You're not going to get Sam Laporta every year. You're not going to get Brock Bowers every year. With that being said, I'm sure Tyler Warren's going to be fine. I really like Harold Fannin Jr. He is a catch machine. And same thing as Tyler Warren. He's just a matchup nightmare. It doesn't matter where. I would literally shit a chicken if the Saints drafted Harold Fannin Jr. I wouldn't even give a fuck if we didn't draft a receiver after that. I wouldn't care. Then at 93, I got Emory Jones. He's listed as a tackle. He's going to play guard in the league. You need a left guard. And I know Saints fans clamor every year that we need to draft someone out of LSU. There you go. Emory Jones Jr., plug him in a left guard. Let's get to rolling. Pick 111, Kevin Winston Jr. He's a safety out of Penn State. You can use a safety. I think Tyrann Mathieu, now I want to be clear. I got this information from listening to the Locked On Saints podcast. Ross Jackson, the GOAT, he said that he believes Tyrann Mathieu Tyrann Mathieu. What the fuck was I doing there? Tyrann Mathieu is going to play in the box. That's great. He's much better at that anyway. More like a robber kind of thing. Tends to be in the box. Get Kevin Winston Jr., put him back there with probably Will Harris. I don't know. Brandon Staley is a different guy. He might not like Will Harris. I think Will Harris enjoyed playing for the Saints. Believe it or not, I understand that we sucked. Some players don't care. No, I think it's a little bit deeper than that. I think it's more like the Saints gave him a chance after the Lions cut him. So, And he was good. He was good. I think he could be better, but he was good. He absolutely start for you next year, and I wouldn't be like pissed off about it. At 130, I got Ty Felton, receiver out of Maryland. Maryland just tends to know how to grind out produce these like random receivers that don't get drafted until the 4th or 5th round, and they're good. I don't know, man. DJ Moore is the anomaly being drafted. What was he drafted in like the 2nd round? 1st round? Anyway, he's the anomaly being drafted high and working out. The working out part's not the anomaly. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's crab legs or something. I don't know. But Maryland tends to bang out at least one receiver every 2 or 3 years in a draft. Ty Felton could be that guy. I don't know for sure. He could be, though. So draft him at 130. At 186, we took Jordan James. You need a running back no matter what. I don't care. And I'm not worried about it because Kellen Moore is going to draft a running back. He saw how the run can work for you. For being coaching the Eagles to win a Super Bowl, he saw how the run can work for you. Even though Saquon didn't really have a good game in the Super Bowl, well, he did, but in a different way. It set up the pass is my point. Sorry. So you need a running back. I like Jordan James. He's not like I think you draft Jordan James and you want him to compete with Kendre Miller. I wouldn't be surprised if Kendre is better, though. I do think Kendre is good. I do. He's just got to stay healthy, bro. I mean, oh my God, it's so unfortunate. Anyway, at 254, Elijah Roberts. Ross Jackson always vouches for him and says that he's a good player to have at nose tackle. So, all right, in this third one, now this one, this site lays out the trade. So I want to be clear. This is what happened for this third, because I made trades. I made some trades. Matter of fact, I made too many trades, and I ended up not liking it. Well, I mean, fuck it. You'll see. So in exchange for pick 9, I traded back 2 picks with the 49ers, and I got pick 70. So at pick 11, obviously, pick 75, pick 99, pick 228, pick 232, pick 255. Adding the 2/3 is really the value there. So then pick 11 rolls around. Hello, I got another call. It's from the damn Dolphins, and they're like, I saw you just slide back 2 picks. How about you slide back another 2? And I'll give you pick 48, pick 115, and a 2026 second-round pick. And that is why I said yes. Now, I understand I don't get to make that pick. I don't give a fuck. I got another second-round pick. And in this hypothetical, I know that the Saints now have an extra second-round pick next year. So, that's why I made that trade. And at pick 13, Will Johnson, corner out of Michigan. Like I said, like I've been saying with Trey Amos, with Will Johnson, you get you an outside corner that's going to lock that shit down. Him and Kool-Aid, you let Alante slide to the slot. At pick 40, Landon Jackson, defensive end out of Arkansas. I don't know whether he would be one of those defensive ends or an outside linebacker because he is a great pass rusher. You draft him, you figure it out. You know what I mean? Now at pick 48, because of this trade, I was able to get Donovan Jackson, guard, Ohio State. You plug him in at left guard. That's your starter now. Pick 71, Harold Fannin Jr. Y'all thought I was kidding. I love this dude. I hope the Saints draft him. Tight end out of Bowling Green. When have you ever heard that? At pick 75, because of a trade, Quinshon Judkins, running back, Ohio State. I'm an Ole Miss fan, so I'm a little bit salty about him. I'm not going to lie. But you draft him, you get you a game changer, a damn home run hitter at running back to go with Alvin Kamara. he is better than Kendrick Miller, if I'm being honest. So, at 93, Norman Lott, defensive tackle out of Tennessee. At 99, Demetrius Knight, linebacker, South Carolina. You need linebackers, like I said. At 111, Kyle Kennard, defensive end, South Carolina. I'm just going to rattle these off. 115, Tate Ratledge, guard, Georgia. 130, Lathan Ransom, safety, Ohio State. 186, Pat Bryant, wide receiver, Illinois. I would love if the Saints drafted him in around the... I think I got him in the 6th round, and I was a little bit worried about it. Because I feel like I sat there stressing. That's even better value. I've seen some where he goes in the 4th round. Either way, if the Saints could draft him, if they don't draft like a Teteroa McMillan already or something, you know what I mean? If they could draft Pat Bryant, what did he have, like over 10 or more touchdowns? And he only had like 40 catches. Like, he's doing it. 228, and this is what I was talking about. This is too much. I was like, what am I going to do with 4 7th round picks? Or 3, whatever, it doesn't matter. Howard Cross the third, Juice Wells out of Ole Miss. That's a bit of a homer pick. I had no idea if he's going to be good. He has the skill set to kind of take the top off of defenses and make plays after the catch. But the same, like he's already kind of the mold of Chris Olave. So I guess you just. Or even Bub Means, like you draft him, which by the way, I like Bub Means. I think Bub Means could work out. I don't want that to stop anybody from drafting a better receiver though. But Juice Wells, whatever. I'm not even going to really dive in too deep into it. If he was on the team, he would be like the wide receiver 5 or something. And then at 254, Fidel Diggs, defensive end, Syracuse. You need defensive ends. You do. All right, so for this next segment, I want to start by clarifying that I am actually a very big fan of the Saints Happy Hour podcast. So shout out to all you guys. This is not... It's not coming from a place of hate, if that makes sense, obviously. If anything, I'm a fan. So, but I will say, this kind of rubbed me the wrong way, if you will. Which, by the way, go check out their podcast if you don't already for some reason. Saints Happy Hour Pod. Plug in it, whatever. I don't care. Basically, they were saying Saints fans are lying to themselves if they're saying that they're okay with being terrible for a year or two by getting rid of Derek Carr. Maybe. Me, I'm not lying to myself. I would do anything to get rid of Derek Carr. Like Kevin said, where does he say it? He said something about getting rid of your 5 children to get rid of Carr, and I'm damn near on that boat because fuck Derek Carr. Derek Carr was nowhere to be seen at the fucking Super Bowl. Nowhere. And he was nowhere to be seen anywhere like involving this Kellen Moore shit. He didn't even speak on it. I don't know if he has spoken on it yet. Point being is they were saying, like, if he did show up and if he did do all these things, that Saints fans would just say that he's just sucking up 2 more and like basically anything to hate on Derek Carr. And I can't hate that mindset, bro. He is like the most boring quarterback. The most fucking boring quarterback. And truthfully, I understand that he technically has a winning record as the Saints starter. But let me be clear, that is 14-13. He is positive 1. If you want to pay a quarterback, if you're okay with being 500, then sure, fucking whatever, you're okay with that, but why does it have to be with a quarterback that's making over $40 million a year? You know what I'm saying? 9-8 it's just like, in comparison, 14-13, let's just say he keeps that up and he's +1 every year. 9-8 it's just not going to get you to the playoffs every time. I mean, like, I completely understand that the Bucks barely make it. They tend to make it on fucking tiebreakers every single time. But why put yourself in that scenario? This NFC South is so bad that next year, with Derek Carr, sure, you go 9-8. I don't think that happens. So again, I don't see the point in keeping him at all, because I don't think that happens, regardless. And that's basically what they're saying, is like getting rid of Carr means, let's just say it's Spencer Rattler, which I would love. No matter what, you're winning anywhere in the range of 3 to 5 games. Okay? Are we rebuilding or are we not? What is up with this? Let's be competitive while we do it bullshit. Like, the Bucks are an anomaly. It doesn't work that way. They're just in a bad division, and they do the bare minimum because they have the best quarterback in the division. The Texans, anomaly. They already had a good roster, somewhat. Now, they needed C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson. They somewhat had the pieces in place. Washington, my neck of the woods, anomaly. You're not gonna, even if the fucking Titans draft Cam Ward, the #1 pick, he's damn near guaranteed to not be as good as Jaden Daniels was this year. I don't know, man. Like, anything involving defending Derek Carr, it tires me out. It does. Because what the fuck are you even defending? You're defending mediocre stats and +1 on the winning record. All right, so we're going to talk about Spencer Rattler, which I end up having to do every time because people want to talk shit about my boy, and that's my fucking quarterback. The Rat Man, as Mike Hoss says on WWL. All right, so let's start by saying everyone says that he was 0-7 as a starter for the Saints. Okay. He was 0-7 as a starter. Let's sit here, though, and be realistic about what he was given to work with. When I tell you that his starting center was Connor McGovern, the fucking Idaho potato man, good for him. He was like a millionaire with his family's business. That's fucking great. I wouldn't even fucking come back and play football. But sign him out the fucking cornfield, brought his ass in. He starts. That is your starting center. Then your guard is Shane Lemieux, who then gets hurt. And you got Oli Udoh, who probably isn't even on the fucking team next year. And dude, forgive me if I can't even, like, what are we at this point? Landon Young, but I think he got hurt too at one point. Like, point being is we're down to like our 3rd and 4th string interior O lineman as a rookie quarterback. That's a big deal. And you got a rookie at left tackle, which Talius Afuaga is a beast and like probably going to be an all-pro one at some point. But you didn't know that. He was still a rookie at left tackle after playing right tackle in college. And you got Trevor Penning at right tackle, who failed at left tackle. So who knew that he for sure was going to play well at right tackle? And he played okay. Like, he took a great step. So, you're happy with that part of it. But it's not like I would like fully fucking rely on him. You know what I mean? So you got that at O-line as a 5th round pick rookie, and then who are you throwing to? In the game against the Bucks, Chris Olave gets hurt in the first drive. So then you're left with Rashid Shaheed as your wide receiver 1, which is fine at times. Probably more so if you're a vet, though, which is where the Derek Carr argument can come in, and I get that. But we're talking about the fact that Spencer Rattler is a rookie at this time. Rashid Shaheed also gets hurt. I want to say he finished the game, though. He might not have. He might not have even finished the game. Point being is at some point he gets hurt too. So then you got Bub Means as your wide receiver 1. He gets hurt. You're throwing as I cannot stress this enough, as a 5th round pick who had to spend the entire year as the emergency 3rd string quarterback. So you're not taking any of these reps at all during the week. Thrust into starting, which is fine because of the confidence that he has in himself, and you can see it when he plays. He plays with confidence. You're throwing to fucking Kevin Austin Jr., who played in the fucking XFL. I'm not even talking UFL. XFL. And Dante Pettis. I didn't even know Dante Pettis could still be, like, I thought he was retired. Like, I didn't even know he was still eligible to be on teams. I'm not kidding. He's your wide receiver 2. I don't even fucking remember who's your wide receiver 3. Because it's probably someone like Austin Carr. You know what I mean? That's just a name that I pulled out of my ass from back when the Saints would trot out these undrafted free agent wide receivers, dude. Anyway. And he did not, like, yes, there were games where he looked terrible, but Jesus Christ, like, what do you expect? You know what I mean? There was damn near more times that he showed flashes of potential anyway. And the fact that he didn't completely fold under pressure is all you need to see. There is literally reports that other NFL GMs are intrigued by Rattler, not necessarily like interested in him or wanting to trade for him, but they are impressed with what he was able to do. Anyone with an actual fucking football mind understands what he was given and how he performed. Sort of creates this whole, like, he really wasn't that bad. That is all I'm trying to say. Do I think he is good right now? I do, but I am also a truther of Spencer Rattler, and I'm biased because of that. But he's not bad. Let's make that clear right now. He's not bad. Not bad. He has a great arm. He can use his legs when he needs to. He's just got to get that decision-making down. And I don't mean necessarily like throwing picks. I mean like decisiveness on ripping that bitch immediately if it needs to be thrown immediately. You know what I mean? And he worked on that and got better as he started more, which is what you want to see. The next step for him, if we're being honest, the only next step for him that we need to see is playing a complete game. And then at that point, you're actually working with a serviceable NFL starter. You're lying to yourselves, or you're a fucking Falcons fan if you think different. And fuck the Falcons. Speaking of the Falcons, let's compare Spencer Rattler and Michael Penix Jr. Let's compare their stats. Let's do it. So, Michael Penix Jr. 105 attempts, 61 completions. That puts him at a 58.1 completion percentage. He had 775 yards passing with an average of 7.4. 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. Don't know if this matters, but his long was 42 and his rating was 78.9. This is a top 10 pick who had Drake London, Kyle Pitts, I almost had Devontae Freeman, Bijan Robinson. I mean, Tyler, I don't think that really matters as far as the passing game goes, but Ray McLeod, like, you have a slot receiver there. Like, point being is you are throwing to at least 2 first-round picks on the field at all times. And honestly, it's probably 3 every fucking down. And you yourself are a top 10 pick. Okay? I think he won 1 game. I'm not even sure about that because I don't give a fuck about the Falcons. Spencer Rattler, 5th-round pick, who was a 3rd string the entire year, thrust into the starting spot. 228 attempts, 130 completions. That's a 57% completion, right? Only 1% less completion than a top 10 pick in Michael Penix. 1,300 yards. Now, yes, he did play more games than Penix, but he also damn near doubled his yardage. So, with an average of 5.8. Now, that does mean that Penix was kind of airing it out a little bit more. I would like to say that probably is skewed a tad, just a tad, from the last game that he had to play against the Panthers, which was a shootout. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm on some sort of high horse when it comes to the Panthers. The Saints lost to the Panthers with Derek Carr, which further proves that Derek Carr is dog shit, in my opinion. But anyway, we're getting off topic. Spencer Rattler, 4 touchdowns, 5 picks, a long of 41, which kind of geeks, and a rating of 70.4. Yes, Penix had a better rating because Spencer Rattler had more picks than touchdowns. But again, we are talking about a top 10 pick versus a 5th-round pick. And he was only -1 versus even. And I have a Falcons fan that I know, unfortunately for me, that I've talked to and about this, and he said that a lot, however many of Penix's picks are from receivers dropping the ball. And he wanted me to accept that as an excuse when, again, we're talking about starting receivers. And then again, we're acting like Spencer Rattler's picks aren't because of either miscommunication, because, again, he's working with Subway employees at receiver, or drops, because, again, he's working with fucking Burger King employees at receiver. Like, these guys are meant to be selling, security systems door to door. They're not supposed to be catching passes for you. And shout out to them. They will always be better athletes than I could even dream of being. So that's not what I'm saying, okay? But what I'm saying is Kevin Austin Jr. should be your fucking wide receiver 5 or 6. He should be on the fringe of even making the fucking roster. And he was your number 1 receiver. And Spencer Rattler went out there and had 1,300 fucking yards and 4 touchdowns. Probably should have more touchdowns. I get it. I do. Rookie. And I understand we're beating the same drum. We're going in circles. We're talking about the fact that he's a rookie and a 5th-round pick. But I will be the one that fucking Jeffrey Dahmer style drills that shit into your fucking brain if I have to. Okay? So, I wanted to talk about I'm sure everyone feels this way. Maybe not necessarily about these 2 specific people, but just in general, how do people like Colin Cowherd, Nick Wright, maybe some people think Max Kellerman or Stephen A, or everybody for sure thinks Skip Bayless. Point being, how do these people that seem to be very stupid and have the dumbest fucking takes get the biggest platform and get to have their voice put everywhere? Good for them, dude. But Colin Cowherd and Nick Wright are just so fucking stupid. It makes me want to put my head through a wall. Truly. If I ever met Colin Cowherd, I would, like, honest to God, and I understand that people say this, and then when they meet these people, they're like, oh man, huge fan. No, I'm not kidding. Like, I wouldn't talk to him, if we're being honest, because going out of my way to be a dick is just unnecessary. But if for some reason conversation did strike up, I would talk to the guy, but I would absolutely tell him, I'll be like, hey, by the way, you're a fucking idiot. Everything that you say is stupid. And, I respect you for having a career. I wish I did. But God, you're dumb. And God help you for that, because you're just so stupid. And basically, this all stems from Colin Cowherd on his show said that Kellen Moore needs to, or like he's sad for Kellen Moore or something because he took a job at a dead franchise and he's going to be out of a job in the next 2 to 3 years. I mean, on one hand, like you gotta love that the Saints are always at the peak of people's brains when it comes to let's shit on a team, because we're so relevant and live in people's minds rent free, which is hilarious because everyone says that they don't give a fuck about the Saints. In the same breath that the same people were saying that no one wanted to coach for the Saints, and yet an offensive coordinator from a Super Bowl winning fucking team left under his own will to become our head coach. And he brought some people with him. Yeah, we're talking TJ Paginetti, DJ Paginetti, the run game coordinator. He'd been on the fucking Eagles since 2013. I know he took like a little bit of a hiatus, but he came back in 2017. He's been there for damn near 10 years. Consecutively. And he was like, nah, bro. Yeah, we're going to see what Kellen can do. Doug Nussmeier follows Kellen everywhere. Kevin Austin Jr. on my fucking brain. Oh, Kellen, he came. Brandon Staley. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, Brandon Staley probably wanted to be a defensive coordinator, so I get it. Point being is, people said no one wanted to coach the Saints, and here we are. Got a damn near filled out coaching staff, and it's the youngest in the entire league. That's a breath of fucking fresh air. Let's maybe do that with the roster now. Anyway, Colin Cowherd said that the Saints are a dead franchise, and that Kellen would be out of a job in the next 2 to 3 years. Shut the fuck up. Dead franchise, bro? Are you serious? Since the year 2000, the Saints are top 10 in the league in wins. I don't give a fuck if that's regular season. You got to win in the regular season to get to the postseason. The Saints are top 10 in the league in wins since the year 2000, and it's been a quarter of a fucking century since then. So there's that. 2, by dead franchise, you're saying that we're all of a sudden starting to lose because the culture in New Orleans is to win now. Right? So, what the fuck are we talking about? 3, Kellen Moore is not going to be out of a fucking job. Why would the Saints hire him and not be patient with him? They were patient with Dennis Allen. And we didn't even fucking know what that was going to be. There is hope and positivity here, and the understanding that we need to be patient. You're so stupid. Like, I wish I could just, I don't even know, like, fucking slap. No, because I don't want to be disrespectful. Like, I want you to understand. Like, you need to sit down at a desk and have someone Billy Madison your ass, because like you're so stupid. I don't know how you get this platform. Good for you though. He always hated on Drew Brees too, and in the same breath of talking shit about the Saints, had Cam Jordan on his show. Like, dude, I understand you're professional and you got to do what you got to do to get ratings. But you're so two-faced, and God, I hope this finds a way to reach him. And maybe all it is for me is 15 minutes. I don't care if my shit never blows up. I don't care if I end up just talking to the same 25 people the entire time that I run this podcast. I just wanted to get my voice out, you know? Point being, fuck Colin Cowherd, you know? And Nick Wright is just a bitch. He's just a bitch. He's just always shitting on the Saints. And truthfully, like, the people that like let the Saints run their lives, oh, they're cap as fuck, you know, there's that franchise walking. Like, what is anyone going to do? How could anyone do anything with this? I get it. You have to talk about something. But it's just so funny to me that it's always the Saints. And that's how I feel. So speaking of that, let's go ahead and let's talk about the cap space. The Saints are, what is it, like a little bit over 50 million over the cap right now. Okay. Have we not always seen them do cap gymnastics every single year? Yeah, I understand that you don't want to kick the can down the road anymore. That's fine. Take your medicine. Eat the dead cap. The new fucking salary cap just came out from the NFL, and it's like $280 million or something like that. Maybe it's billion. Maybe I'm dumb. The point being is it is a lot higher than what people were expecting. Does that do too much for the Saints? No. It probably knocks like maybe like 10 million or something like that off of the original, amount that they were over. But shit, that helps. Damn. If I went to the fucking grocery store and my bill was like $120 and they were like, "Yo, we're running a promotion. How would you like to pay $110? Be like, "Yeah, fuck, I'll save $10. The Saints always manage to navigate their way out of these things. So even if they decide to take their medicine, like, you have to assume that there's going to be some sort of calculated plan towards taking that medicine, right? Let's cut Derek Carr. Let's do it. Let's eat that dead cat. Because who gives a fuck? Are you going to be able to sign free agents? You'll probably find a way. I think the salary cap is probably like fake. It's probably some sort of don't do this. You know what I mean? Like, how do the Saints keep getting out of it? Other teams fucking do it too. Like the Eagles pay so many people, but because they win while doing it, it's not considered dumb. I get it. When the Saints were doing it when they were winning, it wasn't considered dumb. It was like, oh my God, how do they fucking do this every single year? Now it's like, how do they do this every year? Just, like, I get it. I do. Because when you're not winning, it does look kind of dumb. Because you're like, what the fuck are you even, you're kind of just delaying the inevitable. But are you? Are you? I mean, shit, you take your medicine this year, you're already projected to be under the cap next year by like 30 million. So, like, what is this? Back to this bullshit. What is this dead franchise shit? What? You're going to have money next year to actually sign free agents. Do you know the last time we were able to say that? I don't. I fucking don't. And it's probably because I'm fried half the time. But the truth is the truth. They're not a dead franchise. The salary cap really, like, it always is a little bit easier than what people want to make it seem for some reason. Like, okay, is it going to suck? Sure. Cut Derek Carr. Cut Taysom Hill. Cut Cam Jordan. That's already savings right there. Now, I understand this dead cap thing. I get it. But you take your medicine on Carr now, you don't have to worry about that shit later. That's the way I'm looking at it. Like, I'm behind. Like, let's say I'm behind 3 car payments. If I fucking just make all 3 right now and use my entire check, I don't have to worry about my shit getting repossessed. Do you get what I'm saying? Take the medicine. And then again, you restructure. Like I said, you cut Taysom Hill, you cut Cam Jordan. I love you, Cam Jordan. I'm sorry that this is a part of this hypothetical. Same for you, Taysom. And then you restructure Alvin Kamara. You restructure Eric McCoy. You could probably restructure Cesar Ruiz. You could probably I think they already did that. You could probably restructure Tyrann Mathieu. Probably restructure him. You'll probably end up signing a Debo back. I don't know. That was random. That doesn't help the cap, obviously. But I mean, I wouldn't be pissed off if we brought a Debo back. But that kind of trails off. I don't know. I don't think the cap situation is nearly as dire as everyone says. And that's honestly in my original post on Instagram when I first made the page about how the Saints aren't even close to being the worst job available. So let's talk about that, actually, because Kellen Moore, a Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator, came to the Saints. And I don't want to hear no bullshit about it was the last job available, because they had been meeting since they had been meeting. There were still at least 2 or 3 job openings available, and they had been meeting. You can talk about the fact that they weren't interviewing Kellen Moore, but that's on them, bro. Like, the Saints wanted Kellen Moore. I'm gonna be willing to say, I don't think this was Mickey Loomis kind of like falling backwards into being lucky once again. I really think they wanted Kellen Moore from the jump. And I know that everyone was like, before this happened, everyone was saying like, Mickey is going to convince y'all that this was who they wanted from the jump anyway. I'm not falling. This is not me falling for that. I just truly think, because of the actions that they showed, that they genuinely wanted Kellen Moore from the jump, and they were able to get him. Fuck all that. No one wants to coach the Saints. They got Kellen Moore. They got the youngest coach in the league, a Super Bowl winning coordinator. I cannot say that enough, because his offense put up, I'm not going to say 40 because of the pick six, but you get my point, 30 plus on one of the best defensive schemes, defensive coaches in the league. And that is your new head coach. Okay? This is what was going to happen. This is what they wanted. They wanted Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore wanted the Saints. I don't want to hear any other way, okay? Now, he hired Doug Nussmeier as his OC. This is a guy that speaks the exact same language as Kellen, right? When Kellen has to worry about all the other shit because he's now a head coach, Doug can stay... my middle name is Douglas, actually. Fun fact. Doug can stay in the fucking... with the offense and speak the exact same language that Kellen has been speaking. Okay? And keep that sort of thing going while Kellen worries about other stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, the offense is still Kellen's. Completely Kellen's. That's his baby. He's going to call the plays. He is installing all the shit. Point being is, you now get basically your... I mean, honestly, like, you want this person to be like your best friend, because you want this person to be someone that thinks the same way that you do in every single facet. You get what I'm saying? So, like, if I could be a head coach and hire an offensive coordinator, but let's say I'm an offensive guy, right? So I already know everything that I want and everything that I need to instill in my team and whatnot. I would probably hire my freaking wife to be my OC, because she and I can just think the same things without even speaking to each other. And that's the type of shit that you want, okay? That is who you want, and that is who Doug Nussmeier is for Kellen Moore. So I think that that's a great hire. I think it makes sense. The offensive coordinator is a little bit irrelevant anyway, like I said, because Kellen Moore is going to be calling the plays. He's going to be scheming the plays, like all that. But it's 2 heads are better than 1. 2 heads are better than 1. Jesus. So we hired Brandon Staley as our defensive coordinator. Let's, for the love of God, just give this guy a chance, okay? When he was the defensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams, they were the number 1 defense in the league, and they won the Super Bowl, okay? Yes, they had Aaron Donald. I understand. Saints don't have an Aaron Donald. They probably never will. But, yes, he had Jalen Ramsey. Saints don't have a Jalen Ramsey, sure. But according to Ross Jackson, and then I went back and looked myself, not that I don't believe the guy, but I got to do my own to make it look authentic, right? Jalen Ramsey played a role that he had never played before, right? In Staley's defense. And he was able to make Jalen Ramsey, playing in a role he's never played before, be an all-pro. Meaning he's one of the top corners in the entire fucking league. And when Staley got hired by the Saints, Jalen Ramsey came out and said that was one of the favorite, if not the favorite, defensive coordinators he's ever been coached by. And he parlayed that after just 1 season into being a head coach for the Chargers, okay? Now, this is where everybody is like, oh, but look at this. So the Chargers defense when Staley was the coordinator was middle of the road at best. But does that sound familiar? Dennis Allen, when he first became the head coach of the Saints, actually, if we're being honest, the defense didn't look that good immediately. But then, they ended up rallying and kind of getting a little bit back to what they were. But they were still never like as good as they were when he was not the head coach, when he was just a defensive coordinator. Same thing with Staley, bro. It's defensive coordinators sometimes are just not meant to be head coaches. I mean, shit, look at Vic Fangio. Look at Vance Joseph. Look at, if I'm being honest, Todd Bowles. I think he's a little bit overrated. I think he does everything that he needs to win a mediocre division. But that's kind of it. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, but, maybe I'll leave Bowles out of it. Maybe I'm just being a hater. But point being is, like, defensive coordinators, sometimes they just don't make good head coaches. It's just, you either can be a head coach or you can't. And Dennis Allen, not a good head coach. Terrible fucking head coach. One of the worst in the league, if not the worst. Brandon Staley, not a good head coach. But he wasn't he was pretty bad. But point being is, we didn't hire this guy to be the head coach. We hired him to be the defensive coordinator. Okay? That's what he is going to be. Not the head coach. He is the defensive coordinator. And we need to clarify that. Fuck what happened in LA. Fuck all that. Because he had to be a head coach and he couldn't focus on just his defense. I mean, it's not rocket science. Same thing, like I said, same thing happened with Dennis Allen. So fuck what happened in LA. Let's give this guy a chance to be a defensive coordinator, which apparently is very well respected in that sense. So, fuck. Stop being so negative all the time. Oh, damn. He's going to be bringing in a 3-4 defense. I personally am fucking excited to see something different. We've been running the same defensive scheme for 10 years now. Tired of it. Let's do it. Let's change shit up. Let's get a 3-4 going. Finally see if we can stop mobile fucking quarterbacks for once. Like, I get that it's hard to just in general, but I mean, damn, like they shit on the Saints. I want to see that change, and this is a step in the right direction for that. But I mean, all right, y'all. So that's probably gonna do it for episode 3. I'm really excited to keep this thing kind of going. I want to shout out my friend Daniel. As all this coaching news had been coming out for the Saints, him and I were on Xbox talking, and he was like, "Hey man, I haven't seen you post. I was going to see if you what did he say exactly? Oh, I heard about all this coaching news, and I thought to myself, Shirley Clay has been talking about it because, duh. And then I went and checked your YouTube channel, and there wasn't anything there. I was a little bit disappointed, and that is exactly what I needed because I had been slacking a little bit. But that's why we're also about to get 2 episodes in the same fucking day. Yeah. The first one's going to be outdated, and that's fine. But, I made a promise to myself that I'll be doing this. So I want to post it anyway. Because it needed to be out. I was just being lazy about editing it, and that's dumb. So I'm going to be better about that for sure. And again, shout out Daniel because we're back. We're back. And we're going to keep posting as things happen. We want this pod to take off, baby. I mean, if it don't, it don't. But shit, let's try. Fuck. I'll catch y'all.